Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoy these videos, please click the like and subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be notified of future videos. I want you to be introduced to the late Norma Isela Ramirez. What happened to her is beyond tragic. The case was dismissed in the mutilation killing of a girl, age 15. This was the Los Angeles Times. Citing lack of evidence, the Superior Court Judge Donald A. McCartan dismissed charges Monday against a Santa Ana youth accused of savagely hacking his girlfriend to death 2 years ago. That would have been on May 27, 1985. The dismissal came in the third day of the murder trial of Carlos Alberto Tirado, 17, who was being tried as a juvenile in the Orange County Superior Court. Tirado was arrested last May 12th and charged with the murder May 27, 1985, of 15-year-old Norma Isela Ramirez. Her mutilated body was found on a bike trail near the Santa Ana River in Alona Park. Lack of evidence. After the arrest, the Santa Ana police said Tirado had always been the prime suspect in the case, and although he wasn't arrested until almost 2 years after the killing, the police said they were hampered by lack of hard evidence. Deputy District Attorney Charles J. Middleton, who was prosecuting Tirado, acknowledged after the dismissal that all the evidence was circumstantial. Many people don't understand that a case can be presented on circumstantial evidence. Middleton said in an interview Monday night, that is the only evidence we had, but we believe the evidence showed that Tirado was the perpetrator of the crime. McMartin said in his ruling that circumstantial evidence was not compelling enough to warrant further investigation in the case. I accept the decision and I highly respect Judge McCartan, although I am disappointed, Middleton said. Defense attorneys Edison W. Miller, a former county supervisor, and J. Michael Hughes could not be reached for comment. At the opening of the trial last week, however, Miller said the prosecution's evidence was very skimpy. He pointed out in an interview that there appeared to be no evidence directly linking Tirado to the killing. Where's the fingerprints? There's no confession. Where's the murder weapon? How about a witness that saw something? They don't know anything. It's all circumstantial. Middleton said during the trial last week that the prosecution would show that Tirado was angry at Ramirez because he wanted to date her best friend. Tirado dated the friend once, Middleton said, but then she refused to go out with him because of Tirado's relationship with Ramirez and her friendship with the girl. During the opening day of the trial, Fernandez Flores, 16, a friend of Tirado, testified that Tirado had phoned him and urged him not to tell the police that he had seen Ramirez the day before she was murdered. Flores testified that Tirado tried to get Ramirez to have sex with Tirado's cousin Joe Sotelo the day before she was killed. When she refused, Tirado pushed her and told her to walk home, Flores testified. Tremendous interrogation. But Miller encountered that Flores had been intimidated by police. He was asked by the police if he ever heard Tirado say he wanted to kill Norma. Miller said Flores said no 118 times. Miller added, for someone 13 at the time, he went through a tremendous interrogation. The Ramirez murder became a case of major concern to the Santa Ana's large Latino community, and 6 months after the killing, her family and friends protested the lack of an arrest with a silent candlelight vigil outside the Santa Ana Police Department. Middleton said Monday night that he had not spoken to the Ramirez family and didn't know how they would react to the dismissal. When asked how would it now happen with the case, he said the case is closed. Carlos Tirado was the prime suspect. So we're going to turn to the tarot cards and ask for any insights or guidance that we can get from the cards. I'm going to start with the Haunted House Tarot, which is one of them that I use for murder mysteries. And I like to just kind of have the cards tell a story. What happened in the hours leading up to Norma's murder? What happened? What was going on? Tell us the story. And I just kind of wave my hand over the cards like this. You can choose your own way. Sometimes you'll see me pick the cards up and I'll just kind of weed through them like that. And sometimes I lay them out. There's no right or wrong way to shuffle. It's whatever you feel you're comfortable with. I just get one. I'm like, this is it. This is it. And I pull it out. Whoa, she was walking. So he did send her walking home. Now, mind you, there's a couple of dogs howling a warning, right? Look at that in the evening. So it's showing her walking. She looks like she's kind of upset about something, just the way she's carrying herself. And the dogs are howling a warning. Not in real life, by the way. This is metaphoric. When I say the dogs are howling a warning, it doesn't mean there were dogs howling a warning to her. That's metaphoric. That just means that there was a warning. There's something deceptive going on, according to that particular tarot card. Oh my gosh. So what happened here was I actually pulled one card and it ended up being two. So we're going to take a look at both. She's trying to defend herself against the attack. See her arm up? Now in this case she's underwater, but I highly doubt that she was underwater, but you have to go by the scene. So here she is looking up, holding her hand up, trying to get air. So he possibly punctured an airway first, because when you're underwater you can't breathe. So I think he punctured a lung or did something to where she couldn't breathe and she was trying to defend herself. And then we've got a scene in the cemetery and people grieving, and a whole bunch of people who are grieving the loss of this beautiful woman. So she definitely was attacked. Now, I want to look at the top of this card. Look, I don't know why. All of a sudden, I want to look at the top of this card and see this figure here. It's a young person. Here she is trying to get air because she's being attacked. And this person like totally lost control of themselves. Look at the dark eyes. It's almost like dark eyes. Very interesting. So we'll see what else happened. Continue with the cards. Running my fingers through, looking for the right card. That just feels right. Oh boy, this, I'm trying to get the feel if this was one person attacking her, and it was. I mean, here she is walking down the path, right? So it shows her, where's that card? Shows her, she's kind of pissed off. She's walking home like, I can't believe this. I'm just walking home, right? And then bang, this person comes with this weapon out of the blue. To murder her violently with all these swords. Stab, 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 almost until she's unrecognizable. Who was this person who stabbed her? If you can give me any hints. I'm asking the cards for hints right here. This is it. Wow. Kind of what happened on here is a little girl reaching out to her mother. So this is kind of weird because I feel like the spirit of her is coming through, and she's saying like, my mother never got to finish raising me. And she's actually offering a tribute to her mother right now, so we're going to stop and allow her to do that. She's offering a tribute. See the flowers, the gift of flowers, because this traumatized her mother forever. So we're just going to let her, that has nothing to do with the murder or hints of it. That's her coming through wanting to give a tribute to her mother. She's like, I was a mini mother. She's like, she's saying, she's indicating, she's coming through. She's so beautiful. She's indicating I was like a mini version of my mother. This is what I feel she's saying. She's giving a tribute to her mother. You know what? I'm actually going to stop right here. I have a way to communicate with her through the steampunk. So I'm going to put the Haunted House Tarot aside, and I'm going to say, Norma, if you'd be willing to talk to us, would you be able to tell us exactly, as close as what I can discern from the cards? Because, as you know, the cards don't contain names on it, so if they just can't name a name, I have to try to figure it out like a mystery, and so do you. So if you notice anything, let me know. Norma, if you're willing to communicate with us, if you're able to, do you know exactly who killed you? Do you know who murdered you? Because sometimes he could have hired someone. He could have had somebody else do it for him. This is, she's like, okay, so this is very interesting. She's blindfolded, meaning the first attack that came, she didn't see it coming, but she does know she was stabbed. Like with it, she said it felt like somebody had two hands, or that there was two. For her, it felt like there was two people, and she just got stabbed. It was dark. She couldn't see. Do you have a feeling about who murdered you? Even though you couldn't see, do you have a feeling about who murdered you? Wow. I have to really... Now, it's interesting that all these cards are at night. Wore a trench coat. Wore a long coat. This is an interesting card because, this is an old man in the card, but obviously this wasn't an old man, I don't think, that murdered her, unless she's portraying it being older. But we have to pay attention to this. All right, let's keep going. If you can give us, Norma, as many details as what, and maybe you don't know who really murdered you, and that's very possible, folks. If she got hit from behind, she might not have known. For all we know, it could have been some random serial killer. It is very possible that she didn't know who murdered her. That is very possible. But we're going to ask for if she can give us any more hints on who she suspects might have done it. It's almost like she's indicating, this is Queen of Wands, that she was murdered because of a woman. She was murdered because of another woman. I was murdered because of another woman. Okay. She's kind of avoiding the question about who did it. Oh my God. We've got two cards the same here. Looking, and looking with a light. Looking with a light. Looking with a light. Oh, so you're still looking for the killer. This is what I think. I don't think she knows who the killer is. I think she thinks why she's murdered, but I don't honestly think she knows who the murderer is. Because she's looking. Where's the murderer? Where's the murderer? Folks, I don't think she knows. All right? I don't think she knows. So let's send her a blessing on her path, and let's use another way to try to get a hint on who murdered her. I'm going to go to the Anna K Tarot, and I'm going to say to the Anna K Tarot, I want to know who murdered her, and I want to know from the card's point of view why. Who murdered Norma? If you can tell us from Spirit. Oh, wow, here she is. Wow, I keep getting two cards. Whoa. A very closed off, angry person. Very angry, closed off, sent her to the light. And here's this person hovering, scared, trying to protect themselves. And the next thing they know, they're going to the beautiful golden light and greeted by an angel. So we're honing in on this person. I almost feel like they belong to a common flag. So in other words, this just tells me like same country or same, like this person could have been Latino also, because this feels like a flag to the country. You know how countries, hang flags or whatever nationalities. So this is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight also can indicate a suitor, somebody who's a suitor, somebody who's a boyfriend. It can indicate the boyfriend and from the same country, because the Knight is the suitor. Oh, geez, we got another Knight. This is for entertainment purposes only, and this is alleged. But we have now a Knight of Swords who's carrying the weapon, and we now have the Knight of Wands. I'm sorry, but knights pursue people like your knight in shining armor. That is the tarot's way of saying a boyfriend. So I think that there wasn't enough evidence, but according to what these cards are, you just can't ignore this. He was just really angry about something. He was just fiery angry, had a moment of rage. Is at some point, is he going to be prosecuted? At some point, is he going to be prosecuted? The murderer. Someone in the family. This is the Ten of Pentacles. Somebody in his family knows something. Somebody in his family knows something. Are they going to turn him in? Ooh. They might. They're keeping it hidden. See the cloaks right here? See the cloak? And they might even know where the murder weapon is. Look at, they're hiding it for right now. I think they discovered where the murder weapon is. And it's hidden. Funny he didn't dispose of it, but I don't think he did. I think the murder weapon, believe it or not, I think the murder weapon, somebody's hiding it. It's a cloak here. And they're covering for this other person. This person's protecting and guiding this other person. I think this person confided in them. They said, let's hide this. So there is definitely, this person knows about it. Are they going to come out through guilt after all this time? Are they going to come out through guilt, or is something going to be discovered? Oh, they buried it. Okay, so they buried it. So it's buried. The weapon is buried. Whoa, so somebody could dig it up, because here's somebody accidentally digging something up. And they're like, oh my God, what is this? Wow. And then what happens? It feels like it's some tree. It's almost like there's going to be divine intervention. This is the Chariot card. Look at all the yellow in this. Yes, she went to the light. And there's all these trees nearby. And this would have been like the bike path. And this, oh, no way. This is like the vehicles on the path. See the path here, the trail, the vehicles on the trail through the woods. I wonder if that weapon was just quickly disposed of near the bike path, near the path by where there's an opening in the trees. Wouldn't that be weird that they disposed of it on the bike path? We get the Hermit again. This is glowing. You know, folks, there's hope yet that this could be solved. Because, you hide things. Here's a cave and the Hermit hides things. He might have thought that he got away with this. I'm not so sure that he's going to be in that lucky position of having gotten away with it. Whoa, the Ace of Swords. So Norma from the other side is like, hold a minute. And she says, now I've got the sword of truth in my hand. And there's some water nearby and some trees. And so she's doing what she can on the other side. This is also a message to anyone, who might be familiar with her, that she went to the light. She was greeted by angels over here. She's in the light. She's at peace. She's in a good place. So don't, if you're wondering, is she suffering? No. She is not suffering. She went to the light. She's in heaven. She's with the beautiful angels. There's nothing to worry about, but she is carrying the sword of truth, and she's like, this is going to be okay, family. This is going to be all right. She wants to tell you that. Look at the confidence on her face. I've got the sword now, and I've got the sword of truth, and the truth is going to set us all free. And that's what she wants me to kind of end on. The truth always sets you free. So it doesn't set the people who are deceased free, because they are free, but it's definitely going to give her family a sense of, that I think the family is pretty much aware of the truth, but she's holding the sword of justice also. The sword can represent the truth and also justice. So we'll send prayers to the family and all of her loved ones and all of her friends. And I want to thank her for coming through in the communication, and I want to thank you for listening. And if you pick up any in the cards that maybe I didn't catch or whatever, feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below.